La 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 la
I'm
la
Camille
la
WHO
la
Armstrong,
la
also
la
known as
la
the
la
Performing
la
Arts Renaissance
la
Woman. For
la
over
la
40
la
years,
la
I've lived and
la
breathed
la la
creativity
la la
as a
la
performer, educator, consultant, and
la
coach.
la
I've had
la
the honor of guiding
la
students, mentoring parents, and raising
la
children of my own, all while building a life rooted in purpose, passion, and love. Whether I'm in a classroom, on a stage, or behind the scenes, my heart has always been for the next generation. And I believe it all begins at home with the people who raise them. This series is for you. Whether you're expecting, learning as you go, or parenting for the second or even third time around, I'm here to share the insights, tools, and real talk I've gathered over 4 decades of hands on experience. Welcome to Camille Who, the Child's Whisperer. I'm so glad you're here. I hope that what I share supports you, challenges you, and empowers you on your wild journey of parenting. Hey, Camille Who here. So, baby's home. Now what? Here are some things you need to know. First of all, parenting is not for the faint at heart. And it really starts, this time is it's beautiful, just being pregnant and expecting, and you have all these dreams and these hopes, and you're just like you have these like dreams of the nursery and all these different things, and it's a beautiful and it's a joyful event, but there's some meat and some bones to it, and there's some rough, there's a rough little patch, and there's going to be rough patches. The rough patches actually will feel like, they're actually going to feel like forever, but they're not forever. And just like rough patches and easy patches, they cycle through. There's going to be times with your child where you're going to be like, wow, that was easy. They didn't argue with me. I told them what to do. They did what they were told. And, especially if you listen to the tips that I give you. You'll have children that will listen. Here's a concept: obedient children. Okay, so before going into all of that, you are now at home. It's a delicate time, it's a vulnerable time. Though you're feeling the highs of having this, bringing forth this new life, and looking into their beautiful eyes and holding them and feeling that cuddly, that cuddly feeling, and the smell of newborn baby, and all of that's really joyful. But there are chemically, biologically, some things that are going on that make it really a bittersweet time. When you first come home, I would suggest that you have a few, I don't know, a few days of help. If you can have a friend, a really close friend, or a loved one stay for a couple days or come by for a couple days. Maybe they can cook you dinner. Maybe they can just help with just some things around the house. That is really going to help you to transition into doing the things that you can, that you could, and getting back to those things. Life is completely changing. You are about to experience life with a new life on top of it, right? Like, life is hard enough. Just navigating and just managing and just playing the game of life already, just by yourself, or as a parent, as a married couple, or as a partnership, as a boss, as a employee, as whatever you are. Like, life is already has its complications, but now you're adding another life, and this is a completely separate entity to what you're just juggling in life in general. So it is important to have someone there. if someone can offer their time, if someone can offer just a dinner, a meal, something to help you guys out, that would be that would really, really sort of melt away a lot of the stress. Because, and I'm going to get into it in a moment, but there's going to be some things you're going to be needing to get through, and it's going to take probably a couple days, a few days, sometimes weeks, right? But if you can have, maybe switch people out. Maybe your mom comes, maybe your dad comes, I don't know, maybe a close friend comes, and they sort of switch in and trade days, and do things like, maybe someone can help you with breakfast, maybe someone can help you with laundry that is close enough where you trust them with your laundry, or whatever, while you're adjusting to now being new parents, and dealing with all the other things that come along with it. I would suggest that before that baby comes, you have that nursery set up, because the more orderly your space is, the more orderly your mind can be. If you are still frantically looking for where the diapers are and where this goes and and that is adding to the already stress of being a new parent, plus postpartum, which I will address in a moment. If you can have your nursery already set up. And I'm not saying, okay, yes, we know it's a girl. I mean, some people find out the gender, some people don't. Well, I'm just saying, know where things are, right? Have it set up where you're not still trying to unscrew, you're not still trying to build and put together a crib, or put together a bassinet, or, any of those other things. Just have it ready. You should have time before you have this baby. Have the nursery set up. I can't stress this enough. It's probably one of those things. I mean, we don't even really think about it, but create a peaceful environment. Create a peaceful environment, because just like order does a really beautiful thing to your mind, so does a peaceful environment. It's going to be high stress for a moment. You're going to be like, oh, are you still breathing? Oh, are you still okay? Wait, well, was that a cry? Oh my gosh. What is it? Oh, do you need food? Do you need, it's going to be, there's going to be, until you get used to what kind of cries your baby has, or what kind of sounds they make, and you get used to it, and you realize, okay, they're fine. I'm just freaking out because I've never had this new thing living in my household that I have to care for and make sure they are okay, right? Because they can't do anything for themselves. That's a high stress. That's a high stress situation, stressful situation. So I suggest that you create the ambiance. Maybe you have lavender fragrance. I think Airwick has stuff. Whatever kind of Glade, Airwick, any of those, maybe have something that creates that peaceful environment for you. Fragrance means everything. Sounds mean everything. Lighting really makes a difference. Sounds like music, and it could be Zen music, it could be nature sounds, it could be, things like that really help you just to be at calm, right? It helps to balance out that stressful first couple days or couple of weeks with your new baby. Postpartum is a very real thing. Some people have it kind of easier, some people don't. But at the end of the day, it's a real thing, and what's happening is, biochemically, mom has been the epicenter of creation of a being inside of her body. Everything attached to her. The baby is inside. This is secretly going on. And so it's a very personal relationship the mom has with baby. And everything you even start to take in, you even start to take on certain personality traits that you don't even have. It's your baby's personality traits. Yes, we have personalities when we are born, before we're born. And so mom is taking on these traits and chemically producing things so that baby can be formed and created, and nutrients can be sent to the baby, provided for the baby, healing, all kinds of things. And this becomes a very sacred relationship between mom and baby. And when baby is born, spiritually, energetically, physically, chemically, the baby is detached from mom. That is sad. Like, it's devastating. And it's felt everywhere. It's felt in the emotions. It's felt in the chemicals. It's felt everywhere, spiritually, emotionally. It is a hard thing that's happening. And then we're going to add on top of that pain. There's the pain of recovery. There's there's the pain of, if you had a C-section, there's that healing that has to happen. If you had a a traditional natural childbirth, that is also going, there's the recovery of that. If you just had, your uterus had a baby in there, it's going to contract. There's pain that you're going to experience, on top of the fact that you are now detached from the very being that you chemically created, or not created, but you chemically created an environment that could produce and create this baby, grow this baby, and provide for this baby inside. You felt the baby's movements every moment. You really just developed this nurturing relationship that was very personal, and no one else had it but you. Dad didn't have it. Dad's like, I know I'm going to be a dad, but it's so weird. Like, I speak to dads all the time, and they're like, it's crazy. It's surreal, because I know what's happening. I know what happened. I see my wife with her, I see the belly getting bigger, but physically, I don't even understand. Like, I don't even have an attachment to, or an attachment to the experience as much as I would like to. I'm here and I see these physical changes, but that's about it for me. So I don't quite understand, like, intimately, like that, like what's happening, and I feel sort of removed, not detached, but removed a little bit, while mom is experiencing this every waking moment of this baby's growth and development. It's a tough one. We don't know how long postpartum happens for, but I can tell you this: the more we expect it and allow it, the easier it can go away. The more we expect that it's going to be rough, the more that we understand that this is a very, very attached relationship that is now not as attached anymore on so many levels, the more we care for that, the easier the transition out of postpartum. Make sure you have support. If you can have someone come in, if you can have friends, a family, because it becomes overwhelming when there's a lot of people coming to visit you, and I know that you want to kind of be present, like, oh, thanks for coming to visit, and they think that they're doing the right thing, but really you need some solitude. You need to deal with this detachment that has happened, and you're really just not yourself. You have changed so much that you're not yourself. And so, and dads, I'm hoping you're listening to this video too, because this is important for you to know that this is what mom is going through. Teamwork. Dads and moms. Here's right here, right here, right here. When baby comes home, teamwork is so, so important. I remember, we grew up in just in a time, and I know that life was set up differently generations ago, where moms would stay home and they didn't have the pressure of going back to work, and they didn't have the pressure. They just stayed home. That's what they did. They nurtured the children. They cared for the children. But now times are different. Moms work and dads work. And so guess what? You're both having this baby. So you both have to really just look at it as a team effort. Here are some tips that I can give you, dads, to really help make this feel like a team effort and really take some pressure off of mom, just until she's at the point where she's like, okay, I got this now. It's a lot more manageable. I am not in pain anymore. I'm not as tired anymore. I'm not really sad anymore. So these will help. Besides, and really, if you just don't have teamwork, here's what happens. And I'm going to share my own story as a mom. As much as I loved being a mom, as much as I loved being pregnant, as much as I loved having babies, like I had 4 children. I loved children. I loved having the concept. I loved being pregnant. I loved having the babies. But during postpartum, when I'm doing mostly everything, when I'm waking up in the middle of the night and nursing the baby, and my and dad is just sleeping, just happily sleeping. I'm like, there is, you're not rational. In fact, but not only are you not rational, it's not a time for you to really be so rational. You're chemically going through changes. You're emotionally going through changes. This is a time where you do need the support and have to accept the support from your partner, and really just it's a very vulnerable time, as I have mentioned before. Anyway, so in that time, because I'm just dealing with all this postpartum changes, all these changes, and waking up in the middle of the night, and my body is just exhausted, and I'm like, why would I be the only one that hears the baby? Why am I hearing the baby? If why? This is not fair that I have to be always the one to get up. Now granted, I'm nursing, so okay, what can a dad do if I'm the only source of nutrition? I'll tell you. But let me finish my story. Anyway, I got resentful every single time. As much as I wanted to have a new baby, I have not a new baby, but have another baby. There was a time, and it was usually during postpartum, where just like everything readjusting and just exhausted and in pain, and dealing with all of these changes, it made it really, really hard. And I just would look over, I would have to wake up and feed this baby and look over at dad and be like, and you didn't even hear the baby. You are sound asleep in dreamland. This is unfair. So a resentment can build. I have heard stories from many, 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 many moms who have gone through the very same thing. So I know it's not just my story. So I'm telling you this so you can have the tools to avoid it. Okay? I've come up with some solutions that might help this feel more like teamwork in the very beginning. And of course this is just in the beginning. This is while you're doing this initial adjustment. Sometimes it may take a couple weeks, sometimes it may take a couple months, okay? But here are just ways that you can partner to make this feel like both of us are having this experience and not just mom, because well, she's the one that's nursing, or well, she's the one that's no, you both had a baby. Now it's time to have that baby. Okay, and care for that baby, and be, really, really feel like, so it feels like a team, and a team effort. And it's going to be difficult for both of you, but at least you're now splitting difficult. It's not just one person dealing with the difficult. Dads, if mom is nursing, right, clearly there's no bottle that you have to get, so you can't get up in the middle of the night and go get the bottle, right? We get that. But moms have to replenish themselves. They have to replenish their milk production. They have to replenish themselves with water. So what you can do every time the baby, right? Because this is gonna be very frequent. If baby is nursing, this is gonna be a frequent thing. And in those middle of the nights, you want to create an easier time, or at least let's share the load time with mom. Mom gets up to nurse the baby. You go and you get a glass of water and a glass of milk. This way, she's feeding someone, you're feeding someone. She has to get up, you have to get up. She has to be in her right mind, you have to be in your right mind. And so you're both sharing the load, and you're doing something. You're serving her while she serves this baby. Because really, no one else can nurse the baby but her. So let's serve each other here. Okay. But that was a really good tip that I had, or just I've heard from some husbands that they actually do that, and I thought that was brilliant, and I wanted to share that tip with dads, partners. Share the load. All right. Okay. The next tip is, if it's a bottle situation, you two could be switching off bottles. So switching off feedings, right? You can alternate feedings. And when it comes to the end of the night, the person who feeds the baby last before nighttime, well, they're probably going to wake up a couple more times in the night until you get a good sleeping schedule. But the one who feeds the baby, whether it's, if we're talking about bottle feeding, so the last one to feed the baby the bottle, the other parent would wash the other bottles for the day. The one who's feeding the baby, after they're done, they can now go, there's clean bottles already, they can make new bottles for the morning. So you can make new bottles for the next day and the middle of the night. So then the parent that washed the bottles would be the one that wakes up with them in the middle of the night. They already have bottles made. So they just grab, warm it up, feed the baby, change the diaper. Done. There's your teamwork right there. In videos to come, I will be sharing bath time, bedtime tips that make sleep training very easy and quick. And I mean, I have a history of getting my kids to sleep full night by 1.5 months. A few videos from now or whatever, but I'll be covering that in the series. That is it. I'm Camille WHO, and I am out.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Camille WHO, the Child's Whisperer. A heartfelt thank you to the generous supporters of the Books and Beyond campaign. This series wouldn't be possible without you. If you're a new or expecting parent, I created Better Parent, Better Future just for you. I empower first-time parents to embrace a positive mindset and navigate those early parenting years with confidence and joy. Click the link in the description to learn more or to find out how we can work together. Until next time, keep showing up, keep growing, and keep leading with love.